So I was like expanding, contracting. Like we lost a lot of like, I thought pretty good stories along the way, but I refused to have the book over 500 pages. Like I took out the story where like fuck the bodybuilding.com guys, like
dude,
which is a really good story.
This is the weirdest coincidence ever. So I was just in Boise, Idaho with Chris, and he hired Jeremy Deluca to his company. Jeremy is the brother of that guy, and he was like, he was asking me about how Rogan went and shit, and I was like, oh, it was great. And he was like, what's next on your plan? You going to? I was like, I'm going to Vegas. He's like, oh, what's there? And I'm like, I have these clinical conferences and stuff, and I'm doing this podcast with Dan Bilzerian. Maybe you've heard of him. He's like, oh yeah, that's the fucking guy who like fucked my brother's girlfriend. And I was like, wait, because it rung a bell, because back then it's not like I was even online really or that involved. Like I remember hearing the story, but I hadn't thought of it since that time, because it doesn't come up that often, I guess, in your interviews and stuff, because it's more of like a hyper-specific scenario that's not in the book, for example. And he was like, yeah, man, he like sent him a fucking picture or something. It was like, I just fucked your girl in my Gucci flip-flops. And then now the joke is every Christmas or something, he tells his brother, he's like, hey, I'm going to get you Gucci flip-flops for Christmas.
Oh, that's fucking ruthless. So, I mean, the story was basically, I met this chick at Coachella, and I can actually send you the chapter, which I deleted. It's kind of funny because I have like...
send it. I'm going to show Jeremy.
I have her, like, the screenshots of, like, her messages to me, which makes it a lot more funny. But anyway, so it started, I met her at Coachella, and then I basically, like, wanted to bang her. She's, like, hooking up with me a little bit, but not really. And then I was like, look, I could fuck you in the helicopter, but, like, I'm leaving. I don't have I don't know if you've been to Coachella, but it's, like, a motherfucker to get anywhere. Everything's so crowded. And I was like, yeah, we could fuck in the helicopter, but other than that, like, I'm out. And she's like, oh, maybe next time in LA or something, whatever. She got my number. Didn't hear from her. 3 months later, I'm at Electric Zoo in New York, and I'm like hosting this, whatever the fuck it was, some festival thing or whatever. They paid me to go there and gave me a table and whatever. So I get a text, and it's like, oh, my boyfriend is, richer than you. He's got a bigger dick. He's fucking...
and what prompted that? Because you didn't bang her, or like what?
No, this is from him. So but it's from her number, right? And it's like, he owns a thing. He started a company. It's bodybuilding.com. Like, it's just like all this nonsense. And then like a picture, I don't know. So I'm just like, I don't even know how to respond to it. The text messages are in the chapter, but like, then he goes on to like, be like, oh, I don't know. I think I said something to her, like talking shit, like, like, you got buck teeth, you look like a squirrel, like fuck off or something, right? And then he goes in and like continues this thing on, but he's like talking as him now on her phone, and then like sends a picture of her like laying out, or I forget what the fuck it was. I think I just sent him a picture of my dick and told him to fuck off. Like it was like the end of the conversation. It was like, just tired of this nonsense. And then 3 months later, I get a text from the chick like, hey, like, I want to come fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, God, this retard again, right? And then I'm like...
And the thing right above on the chat, I'm assuming, is the conversation.
I can show you the messages. It's fucking hilarious. And so then I'm like, send pics. So she like sends me a bunch of naked pictures of herself. I'm like, okay, like, if you come out here, like, you could stay at a hotel and like I might fuck you or something. It was like very like kind of like standoffish or whatever. She's like, okay, like, I'm coming out. I left her in a hotel for like 2 days, and it's like 3 a.m, and she's like, oh, like, I don't know. I think you can see the text. It's like pretty fucking funny. But anyways, I finally end up banging her after like 2 or 3 days of her being in a hotel, and she like wants this picture of her on my bed, like in lingerie with this gun. I was like, okay, fine, take a couple pictures. Send her on her way. Then it's like, I don't know, man. Like 2 months later, I get a text like, this is the worst sex of my life. Like,
wait, how many months later?
I think it was like 2 months, maybe a month or something.
It's like such a weird timeline. Like,
I know.
It's so like broken up.
It's very weird, and you can see it in the text.
Like every time,
they
have
the
just
times
imagine you getting it and be like, what?
Like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then like, goes on and on again, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I was like, assume that it's this fucking retard, but like either way, I was like irritated that I had to deal with this stuff. So then I like post a picture of the flip-flops, or I post a picture of her on the bed. I don't know what it was, something like, I fucked your bitch or whatever, like, leave me the fuck alone. He goes crazy. He's like, I'm gonna have more Instagram followers. I'm not telling the story nearly as good as I did when I wrote it, but anyways, it's like, I'm gonna have more followers than Dan by like such and such a date, like 6 months he gave himself to get like, I don't know how many millions of fucking whatever. It's like, this guy's so delusional. And I think at the time I had like 16 million followers or something. It was like this guy's like literally like fucking on another planet. And he like did some Tesla giveaway, which was like the car that he gave her. He was like said he was gonna give away to people that followed him. It was this whole crazy thing. And then I posted the Gucci flip flops picture. And then
is it still up if people like dug hard?
I deleted it because I felt bad. And I tagged him, and like everybody's going in on his page, like Gucci makes a hell of a flip flop. Dan fucked your bitch, like just ripping him up. And he's got like all these pictures. It's all like him and this girl holding hands, like on the beach, like all this shit. And so then he like posted my phone number. It was like this whole fucking war. And I finally got the story from her. She like called me 2 days later. She's like, oh, I was on a plane with him to like France, and he just like wouldn't let it go. Like he just kept asking like, who fucked you better? Like whose dick was bigger? Like all this shit, like kept asking this bitch.
And is he supposed to be in a monogamous relationship with her the whole time, or she's like in an open?
Well, they had broken up when she came to fuck me, and then she got back with him.
He just like ate his mind alive.
What's it?
Just ate his mind.
Yeah,
alive.
He couldn't handle it. He just kept asking her all these questions, and then I guess she just like answered them honestly, and the goo went fucking crazy, and they had to like restrain him on the plane. They like cut him off with the alcohol. He like started texting me. Then he broke her phone, like left her in France, like this whole crazy thing.
And you're just there at home, just like watching it unfold.
Bro, it was so ridiculous. And then I was just like, I don't know, man. Like the whole thing was fucking nuts. And then there was like press articles about the whole thing. It was like really bad for him. But it was like kind of a funny story. I thought it was like really hilarious, especially when you included the text messages in there. And I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. My girlfriend talked me out of putting it in there. I just felt like there was just like so much stuff in the book. Maybe I should have left it in.
But that was a good one, dude.
Yeah. So that was the
Well, it's a good thing you guys are getting the story here if you haven't heard it. So.
It was just funny because he totally brought it on himself.
Yeah. Yeah, when I was talking to Jeremy, I could tell the tone of it was like he was not, like, he thought it was hilarious. And it's his brother. I'm like, I don't know the context really, because I'm like,
dude, I was like a fly on the wall, man. I didn't give a fuck about this chick. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? He like brought her up, sending me pictures of her in a bikini, like bragging about himself, putting his website, putting his Instagram up there. It was just like so fucking strange. And then, like I said, she just like literally hit me up, like, I want to come fuck you. And I was like, okay, fine. You know, it was like, it was literally like, that was it. And banged the chick, you know, a couple times and sent her on her way. And then I fucking continuously hear from this guy.
Isn't it weird how guys like that will blame the dude when it's like the chick herself who like did everything?
Dude, I've been saying this for years.
What kind of quality are you with that is doing this?
I've been saying this for years. It's like if you're with a hot girl, all these guys are going to be trying to fuck her. I was like the one guy that wasn't proactively trying to fuck her. I wasn't texting her. I didn't give a shit. I would have never seen her again in a fucking million years if it hadn't been for this fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, man, like a girl has to police herself, and if she can't, then like, you know, you could fuck her, but she shouldn't be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's like on you to like screen that kind of thing. It's you. If anything, you help reveal that she's like terrible for him.
I would want to know.
And he's like needs to go to fucking therapy or something.
Definitely needs therapy for sure.